There's another theory going around, too. I just have to share it with you. I have no idea. I'm not on the inside with the Republican Party, and I haven't ever been, really. People have assumed, that I'm the titular head of the Republican Party. If I were an ideas guy, that might be true, but I'm not, and I've never been. Like, I've never chatted with Reince Priebus. I've never met him. I wouldn't know how to get hold of him other than look up the phone number, the RNC, and I don't make phone calls, so that wouldn't happen. I've never heard from him. And it's not a complaint. I'm just telling you, I'm not an insider. I'm going to tell you what I've heard. I've heard that it is Carly Fiorina who has drawn the assignment to take out Trump. That arrangements were made to get her on that 8 o'clock stage. There are 11 instead of 10. It's going to be the top 10, but something's happened. Carly's there. I'm all for that, by the way. Don't misunderstand here. Remember, before the Fox debate, the word went out that it was the donors who had given all the other candidates strict orders to take Trump out and be done with this. Well, the story now is that it's Fiorina who has been given that assignment, coming right off the face comment that Trump is ripe for being cut down to size, and Fiorina is the one to do it because she's the one that's shown the most gonads of any of them throughout this process. This is the theory that I'm hearing. I have no idea if it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you, this is what I hear. Related matter, Politico today. Wall Street's latest panic, Trump could win. Really? Wall Street growing increasingly terrified that Donald Trump could actually win the Republican nomination for president. The real estate billionaire who took another populist shot on Sunday, ripping into lavish executive pay, continues to rise in the polls. Would-be Wall Street saviors like Jeb Bush are languishing in single digit. You know what the story with Jeb is? I just hate to say this. But in these recent polls that show Trump continuing to edge up, Carson rising, some polls fairly close to Trump, you have to look really hard to find Jeb. He's down there at 6 and 5%. Now, I understand the strategy of staying way back in the pack and staying hidden and then coming on late, shocking and surprising everybody. But if you're running against Secretariat, that's a failed, doomed strategery because Secretariat's not going to slow down. And now Jeb's out there campaigning even more in Spanish. He had his wife out there, Columba, with him, I think, yesterday or today. But, this is this Politico story. This is, by the way, this is where the Republican establishment goes to leak. Politically leak. I'm not talking about the bathroom. This is the Republican establishment. When there's something they want in the mainstream media, they go to Politico. They don't go to the New York Times. They don't go to the Post. They go to Politico. Don't doubt me. I know this. You can see it if you study it. That's where we learn all this stuff, what the establishment thinks. This is an establishment leak. So we know, since it ran in Politico, that Wall Street growing increasingly terrified Trump could win is actually an establishment leak. Fact is, how come Hillary Clinton isn't frightening to Wall Street? Hillary Clinton has regularly promised to tax carried interest. Same thing Trump is doing. She, I think, repeated her vow to do that back on July 11th of this year. She doesn't want to lower the corporate tax rate. She's also announced dozens of other anti-Wall Street policies. But you know what this tells me? It tells me that Wall Street really doesn't believe her. And they're probably right, too. The biggest shock to low-information voters in politics today is how united and close big business and high finance of the Democrat Party are. The Democrat Party gets away with this image of being for the little guy, that they're out there attacking and trying to destroy corporate America, CEOs, rich corporations. The fact of the matter is the Democrat Party's in bed with them, taking their money and giving them favorable policies in return. And I think for Hillary to get a pass from these Wall Street people means one thing. It means when she's out there claiming to raise taxes on them or eliminate carried interest for hedge fund guys, she doesn't really mean it. They know that she just has to say it because she's a Democrat, and that's what her voters want to hear is corporate America rashed and trashed and beaten up, but she's not really going to do anything about it, just like her husband didn't. Clinton ragged on corporate America and then spent all of his vacation time with them. Wherever they were, in Hamptons, in Hollywood, Martha's Vineyard, that's where you find Obama. They're inseparable. I don't care who you're talking about. J.P. Morgan Chase, Citibank, Solomon. What's the big one? Solomon Brothers, whatever it is. Lloyd Blankfein's outfit. John Corzine ran it, the big one. They're all tight with the Democrats. But I think they really do fear Trump might come in and upset the apple cart. They're not worried about Hillary doing